Good afternoon. My name is Dee Dee Stakely, and I'm a member of the Hatched Planning Team. I'll be monitoring our time today as well as monitoring the chat. This session will be recorded for future use, so if you were hoping to attend another session, we will be recording all the sessions today. It's my pleasure to introduce Mike Berghoef and Kaylee Moreno, Burke, and they will be presenting today on Promesa Adelante, increasing Latinx research engagement through structured academic methods. I'll let you know when we have just a few minutes left so that if we have any additional questions toward the end before we wrap up as well. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to our session. We're really excited to talk about this new course that Mike and I designed, and really the way that we've expanded some of the opportunities provided through the Promesa Scholars Program. Sorry, I'm in summer success planning mode. So our session is about Promesa Adelante. Adelante means forward. So if you think about Ferris Ford brand, Promesa Adelante is our promise forward together. Really looking at increasing Latinx research engagement and through some structured academic opportunities.
Hello, everyone. So here's what we're hoping to cover today. We want to give you a little bit of background in terms of the program that Kaylee has been working with for the last few years, the Promesa Scholars Program, and a little bit about this course that we're piloting right now. It's an experimental course, a one-credit course. Talk a little bit about the design and a little bit of what we hope to have as our outcomes for this fairly unique course that's kind of custom designed for our Promesa scholars.
So the Promesa Scholars Program, we're going to try some engagement opportunities in this. So can someone drop in the chat what you know about the Promesa Scholars Program? I'm going to treat you like my students. I'm going to give you a second, try to put some pressure in there. What do people know about the Promesa Scholars Program already? Or if you want to have a reaction on your screen, use that button in Zoom to let us know if you've heard of the Promesa Scholars Program. Can you give us some type of reaction on your screen? Awesome. Trinity has been a great partner in this program, in the work. So for those that don't know much about the program, the Promesa Scholars Program, right, great. Gail knows a little bit. Mike knows about our summer programming. The Promesa Scholars Program was originally created when the center opened to support students who had come through the Promesa Summer Success Program and help to make sure that they were retained at the university. Back in 2017, we decided that we were getting students from Summer Success, but we really weren't having the reach and impact of Latino students in their retention and academic success at the university overall. So we redesigned the program and opened it up to any student that was entering the university for the first time in the fall semester. We still do keep it to just fall semester as the first time you can get into the program. We're really focused on 4 pillars of success. So we look at community, developing community, and leaning into the collective values of the Latinx community. Focusing on cultural identity development, understanding that Latino students don't often get a chance to explore what that culture means, understanding our history as a Latinx community throughout high school, aside from narratives that may be shared or may not be shared due to just understanding cultural context within the United States and maybe lost history that's happened within their family. Also developing leadership programs intentionally for our Latino students, giving them leadership opportunities to build their resumes and their CVs to have success after Ferris State, as well as increasing their academic success. Part of that academic success was strengthening an opportunity of research, getting them exposed to research, presenting, understanding and developing those skill sets so that they could have greater success in the classroom, not just in English classes, but understanding that English was a barrier for some of our students as second language learners, but just helping them to develop those research and critical thinking skills overall. So we created this to also create a space of counter storytelling, creating a separate narrative about Latino students at the university. In the first year that we ran a connectedness with faculty and recruited faculty mentors, We provided an anonymous survey, and we actually had some survey results that faculty didn't know that Latino students were capable of this level of academic work and academic production. So they didn't see the Latino students in the classroom as being able to produce research and be able to sit and assist in research projects. So we wanted to create intentional counter stories to that and show that our Latino students do have this. They just might need some mentoring as any other student would be able to. And we wanted to create a space of disruption, right? We wanted to work on the students' confidence, letting them know that they have these opportunities, and talk about how do we navigate and how do we utilize our ability to code switch in and out of the classroom, in and out of social situations, and how do we help them to optimize those skills for greater success in higher education and career. We're currently on cohort 4 of the program, and last year was recognized as one of Excellency in Education's top programs across the nation in supporting Latinx student success. My clicking's not working as efficiently today.
All right, so the challenge was, could we create a course that would be meaningful, that would be kind of a survey of research methods? And there aren't a whole lot of research methods courses at Ferris, we found when we kind of audited our catalog. There are some, and not that they're not good courses, they are. But we really wanted to have a different focus to this course. And so it was intentional that we went out and wanted to expose these Promesa scholars to Latinx researchers and other, Black, Indigenous, other scholars of color. So that's what we've set out to do. And in the past, that has been done through primarily through matching scholars with a faculty mentor to create some sort of scholarly work that they would then present at a poster session at a conference, at the main conference at Wayne State. So that has actually met with quite a bit of success, and you can see the group in front of you on this picture here. That was very exciting when we were able to bring all these students to Wayne. Ferris has a very successful summer research fellowship, but so far very few students of color and very few Latinx students have participated in this.
Today, I'm the only Latino student that has participated in that program. And so we also
great.
It was great. I loved it. And trying to get students more excited about research to do it. But less than 1% of our Latino students have been exposed. Less than 1% of the students that have participated in that summer research fellowship have identified as Latino. And so how can we increase that opportunity to do research, get paid for doing research, create that faculty mentorship intentionally with our students? One of the other whys of creating this course was that we learned a lot of lessons from doing this partnership with faculty and having students match with faculty. It was fantastic. But if anyone here has done research, we know that it takes a bit of time, right? It's not just something that you do haphazardly. It's not something that's just very easy and simple to come across. It takes time and dedication. And what we noticed with our students, we're looking at NESI data, but also collecting qualitative stories from our students, was that balancing the workload of doing research as a co-curricular activity, that's something they were forced to do while also working. The average Latino student at Ferris State is working close to 20 hours a week, plus taking a full-time course load. We know that that's a lot for any student to manage, but also they're having to balance family obligations. So we wanted to think about, how do we do this course equitably for our students? How do we create this opportunity equitably? Well, we're trying to just introduce research and the opportunities that it can provide for students in the classroom. So feedback from faculty, sometimes also faculty weren't always available to help with students. It was trying to balance all of their workload with the students' workload, finding a time that both the faculty and students could meet. And so we created this course to help meet some of those needs. And we are piloting the course right now. So Mike, I'll let you talk a little bit about the course we're co-teaching.
Yeah, so the challenge that Kaylee and Dean Trinity Williams presented was, can we create a course that lays down this foundational knowledge in terms of research methods, but does it in such a way that it's relevant and interesting for our Latinx students, and I think that we're dialing that in. But we wanted it to be a credit-bearing course, and so what we've done is, but again, as Kaylee said, not to be a burden. So it's a 1-credit course, which is its own challenge. One credit course meets once a week for a very short time. It feels like for somebody like me that is used to 3-hour slots of time to talk. But one of the things that we've done to increase our efficiency and to kind of laser focus on our goal here is to carefully curate all of the readings that we have. So readings are not necessarily lengthy, but they are all coming back to some piece of research that's been done by a Latinx scholar, or that it's in some way relevant to the intersection of Latinx issues and African American and Native American issues, and gay and lesbian, trans, bisexual issues, and age issues. So we're really looking at a lot of the intersectionality there, and that's part of how we have been able to accomplish that. So, for example, we're kind of doing very traditional garden variety things that you would expect in a research methods course. Talking about climate surveys and interviews and content analysis and research ethics. But then when we presented the research ethics, we've been trying to be very deliberate about using historic examples, and this is actually not that hard to do, historic examples of historically oppressed peoples. So looking at the ethical violations through Nazi research toward the Jewish and Russian peoples in World War II, but then also bringing it home and looking at the United States and looking at the Tuskegee study and looking at its impact on African Americans and the forced sterilization of Latino women in Puerto Rico in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and looking at those examples for a couple of reasons, right? So one of the reasons is that it's important for us to have a proper lens. We're trying to a large extent use a critical race theory lens, and doing that in a way that focuses on problems, issues, interventions that are important to research, but the ones that are focused on systems rather than primarily on individuals, as often happens. So, for example, looking at an issue like homelessness and challenging the students to think about how oftentimes homelessness is seen as an issue, a problem of the individual. Why is that person homeless? What's wrong with them that they're homeless? Rather than seeing that as a systemic issue of how can wealthy communities not have enough affordable, safe housing for all their members. And likewise, kind of flipping the script on the current debate in terms of vaccines and vaccine hesitancy, rather than looking at communities of color and saying, why are they so hesitant to get the vaccine? What's up with that person or that community? And flipping that to, how do institutions restore institutional trust when that's been historically violated so severely? So looking at it from different macro and critical race theory lens.
One of the other things we wanted to consider with the design of this course is that the vast majority of our scholars right now are first-year students at Ferris. So we have first-year students who are engaging in undergraduate research, but we also understood that we have a mix of first-year, second-year, and some third-year students who are, some of them are currently in the nursing program, some of them are applying to nursing program, they are taking full course loads. So often, most of our students are taking on average of 13 to 16 credit hours this semester. So we wanted to make sure that laser focus coaching that we were doing through this course was brought to more of a coaching and like a direct application. So every week of our course is designed to build out a component of their research project and working on that. So each assignment feels very intentional to the students. The class is also set up to be more conversation-based and discussion-based, understanding the historical barriers that have happened that for Latino students and students of color in performing on academic assessments. So in tests and quizzes, our students still get a lot of anxiety around there, and oftentimes that doesn't bring about the cultural strengths that our students bring into the classroom. So we're able for them to lean into their strengths and something unique that they bring to Ferris by their Latinx context and Latinx analysis, and help to highlight that as a strength that they bring and bring that out through discussion. So if you come to a class of ours, you will see lots of discussion, not very many quizzes. You'll see lots of time for processing, lots of breakout rooms, which is hard to fit in an hour time frame. But it's also created a venue for students to relate to each other on some common issues. We also first gave them just like, you pick a research question. And we realized that sometimes with first year students, that can be really difficult. So we helped them to come down to 4 main topic areas in the course this year, and we split them into groups. Again, group project was very important for us to keep in this course, and leaning into that collectivism as a Latinx value. So we've utilized that. We have 4 topic areas. One is using Gina Garcia's model of assessing HSIs, or Hispanic Serving Institutions, to see if you're Latinx serving, producing, enhancing, or enrolling. And asking students, where do you see Ferris? How can Ferris move from being wherever you perceive them to be to truly being Latinx serving? And so the students have assessed Ferris state through that. They've given feedback that we're able to utilize as well. And eventually the students are going to take these projects and present them either at Wayne State University, or we're working on some public spaces for them to let us know what can we be doing better as an institution to better serve our students. The second project is looking at COVID education and COVID relationships within the Latino community. So how do we increase that acknowledgement and trust within the institutional trust within the COVID vaccines, so that we can keep our Latino communities healthy. We're also looking at microaggressions or campus relationships. And so we're giving our students intentional language and vocabulary to talk about some experiences that they might be having on the campus, but also talking about campus relationships overall. Like, what's it feel like to be a first year student in a COVID situation? How, if we had to keep doing this, or if this is part of our life longer, how can we better serve our Latino population through that? And then, Mike, do you remember what the last group is?
I don't know. Maybe.
COVID, microaggression, campus relations.
Enrolling to enhancing sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging. I think that was the last one.
That was the
overall sense of belonging. So they all come around this theme of Latinx experience in higher education, and some very relevant. So we have a lot of our nursing students who are working on the COVID vaccine question, and we're so excited to see their results as well.
So another strength, another challenge that turns out, I think, to be a strength is, as Kaylee said, the interdisciplinarity of this group. So it really kind of makes it easy to make those connections in terms of interprofessional education and looking at issues rather than through a single discipline, to have so many different disciplines represented.
And of course, Mike and I both have a bias of coming at this from a social work background, but
There's
I
no
love it.
social work students.
There's no social work students. So some of the outcomes that we are hoping to achieve and that we're already seeing with students is that really having this topic and getting some feedback from our students, having them do the research, get that research exposure, but be able to give us feedback of what can we do better to serve our Latinx students, and give them that sense of ownership in this, that they can make a difference and provide a vehicle for them to present that information and give them that leadership experience in presenting their research results. We've continued to have a partnership with Wayne State University Center for Latino and Latin American Studies to present the research posters at. We are working with them to finalize some details to see if we can present there again. They always are very gracious in welcoming our students. And we've taken faculty down to that conference as well to give them a free professional development opportunity. So y'all keep an eye out for theirs. It's a fantastic conference and one that I love going to annually. But the other thing that we've seen is a lot of our students have gotten exposure through faculty interactions to graduate school. We've had 2 students work with their previous faculty mentors to try to publish their research early on. Students gain a sense of confidence that they know something and they have a level of deep understanding in a topic area that they continue to provide education on in their families, their home communities, and they're taking issues that are close to their heart to present on as well.
And I think the pillars that Kaylee talked about earlier too, just I think are so so fitting for Promesa scholars, right? The community leadership, cultural identity, and academic success. I think we're very much supporting all of those pillars of this very important program.
So we, like I said, we are in our first semester of co-teaching this, co-teaching as well as just introducing this course. We will definitely be doing some evaluations at the end of the semester, getting feedback from students on the experience. Already I'm hearing from some of our upperclassmen that they're like, this is so much easier than when we're just matched with the faculty and told to go. We have better structure and understanding of the different processes that we're going through, how to get through these different outcomes. And it feels like a cleaner timeline for them. So we'll be doing some evaluations, probably making some adjustments to the course, but look forward to continue to hosting this intentionally in the spring semester every year for our scholars as a required course. That also, I don't think we mentioned that this is a gen ed. We got this to pass through some gen, I think it's gen ed, right, Mike?
We're in process, but
Yes.
again, because 100% of our readings and discussions are dealing with issues of diversity, both domestic and international. I think we've been encouraged to apply for sure, and so we'll have that by the end.
So this is great information. Are there questions that anyone might have for Mike and for Kaylee?
I have a question. I think I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity for them to present to colleges or departments their research findings so that we could be helped in our, promoting our programs to the Latinx community. And when we're out, what works, what are they looking for in a community at Ferris and the various colleges, because I think their research findings would be so applicable for in growing our student population.
Absolutely. We are exploring how we're going to do the final presentations. But when we, first were thinking about this, we were hoping for in person on campus somewhere, poster session. Obviously, there's some limitations there, but I think Zoom actually creates a venue for us to have a larger reach. So I think I can speak for Mike on this. So we would be happy to explore some partnerships or inviting faculty and sending some intentional messages out to tune into the Promesa Scholars research findings for a campus session.
Yeah, it's one of those silver linings of using Zoom all the time is that it makes this relatively easy to capture, to record.
Wonderful.
Great question. Thanks.
What other questions might you have? Others have? It's a quiet group, Kaylee and Mike.
We answered all of them in the presentation.
I think so. When you're good, you're good.
I do want to take some intentional time to thank Trinity for all of her work and support to get this off the ground. She's been instrumental in helping us get this going in a very short timeline. That we got this to go. We traditionally would not want to go like this, but just really thankful for her leadership to co-sponsor this with us.
Yeah, we broke some records from concept to implementation, but couldn't have done that without Trinity.
I just want to say that Kaylee came to me with the idea, and Mike was gracious enough to give it a go. So I just provided some money. So yeah, thank you though.
And guidance.
I guess my other question, do you have any college business students in the group?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And I think from moving on, that they've got this foundation, you said some mentoring and stuff, but I think that the next step would be also to move them into, they've got this great foundation now, and then moving them into research opportunities in their areas of study and bringing that next step of mentoring with faculty and staff for those students that are college business students to move it into that next level.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea. Yep. So we will be contacting you about who you might recommend. Or yeah, no, that's great. That's absolutely a natural next step.
Wonderful. Anyone else? All right. Well, Kaylee and Mike, thank you so much for taking time today to share your information with us. It was great information, and I think we all learned something new from it. So I'm looking forward to the great, as is everyone else, I'm sure, seeing the great success that will come for your students as a result of this course and your support. Thank you for coming, everyone. We've got a
Thank you
few
much,
minutes to
everyone.
get ready for the next session.
All right.